Okay, so I am here as a person. Ellen is talking. Let me shut her up. It's 4:04 in the PM on 11/11, and that's Veterans Day. And I had some vague idea that Veterans Day was coming up, but nothing in my brain registered that it was a holiday, and it's an important holiday. And I think my brain has completely, okay, I think number one, it's not Monday. So because we've been doing Monday holidays for years now, I just don't expect a holiday in the middle of the week to mean anything, which is terrible. But I'm talking about being able to go here and go there. So I didn't think about it. And I think I started to mix up Veterans Day and Flag Day a while back because I don't go to school. I don't have children. But when you go to school, you know all the holidays, which ones everything closes for, which ones everything don't. Every time there's a holiday, I got to figure it out. And I don't feel like the TV alerted me to like really bring home the fact that there's a holiday coming up. So, I just didn't even think anything of things being closed or anything like that, right? Then 10:30, I've been going to the therapist on Thursdays sometime around the middle of the day, which is not great for me because I first started going on Tuesday, which was fine. Since I've been going on Thursdays, it's not working out. I'm showing up late and everything else, and it's just like it's not helping me anyway. And last week she did this whole thing, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, it's not even working. Why am I going? But so I'm supposed to go today at noon. Calls to confirm yesterday. Well, not calls. Texts me to confirm yesterday. Fine or whatever I did. Because I think, oh yeah, I gotta go tomorrow. It's Thursday. These are how I know what days which. So 10:30, she texts me. Oh my God, I can't go because the street's closed for the parade. I'm like, okay, what kind of bullshit is this? Like, I was like, okay, yes, it's Veterans Day parade. Okay, it makes sense, but why can't you get to your office because of that? Okay, the street's closed, so what? Right? So I'm like, you should probably be able to get around. That's what I'm saying to myself. But I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what about the parking lot? Do you park in the parking lot across the street? I'm asking all kinds of questions because I'm like, right off the bat, I'm like, I'm not buying this bullshit. So, I'm forgetting that this is a big holiday, probably because I had an appointment scheduled, and nowhere I called. I went to the library a bunch of times. I didn't see a thing. They usually, every time there's a holiday, there's usually something right on the front door that says we're not going to be open on, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, whatever, right? I don't remember seeing this. So nothing was alarming fact that there's a holiday in a couple days. Even though I, did know that it was November, I think I forgot that there was a holiday in November. So anyway, she's telling me this stuff and texting me, oh yeah, now I go in person. I'm an in-person person. I said that before, and maybe I'll talk about the movie thing later on. But because Tarantino came on thing and was talking about why people need to go to the movies, but I digress. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, this isn't making sense. Then she's like, oh no, I just got there and the building's closed. And I get there and like, I don't know if she said there's a sign. Did she say there's a sign on the building that says it's closed? I feel like she did. It looks like somebody's yelling at me. I just opened this and it looks like somebody's yelling at me on YouTube. Stop acting like you know everything. There's something about me. Again, I'm a Sagittarius. I could just walk up and people be like, oh, you think you're a know-it-all. You're such a know-it-all. You think you know everything. I don't even do anything. It's a Sagittarius thing that they call us know-it-alls. I just walk up. I know sometimes with my glasses I look like the owl from, that licks the thing on the Tootsie Pop. But I mean, if you can't even see me, people don't even see me and they hate my guts for being a know-it-all. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Just because I give a fact or I say, well, I thought this was like this. So, let's see what she said. Because I don't want to I hate talking on the phone. That's what I said last, okay? I showed up, finally took me 45 minutes. I live 15 minutes away, and it says closed for parade. She's saying the building says closed for parade. She said the building is even closed. I said, oh, they closed the building? That's different then. We can just schedule for next week. That is me saying to her. Then she says, I showed up finally. It took me 45 minutes. I live 15 minutes away, and it says closed for parade. And I said, they should have told you, the building people. Hug, I'm so mad, I know. And it's at some point she's like, she said something about telehealth. I don't want to do that. Part of the reason I'm going is from talking to people on the phone and getting sick of talking to people on the phone. I'm so sick of the fucking phone. I hate talking on the cell phone. I hate talking on the cell phone. It was one thing back in the old days when we had phones, and I had a phone until very recently, until everything crapped out and I couldn't pay for it anymore. That was my home phone my whole life. That was the phone I used to call my friends on the 3rd grade with the same phone number. That, you know what I mean? So anyway, but I'm like, I'm not gonna, I wasted my day because I planned to go in the middle of the day and all this stuff like that. And last time I went, I got there 5 minutes late, and she kicked me out 15 minutes early, like, time's up, when I should have already been, you know what I mean? I should have been there for 15 more minutes, regardless of whether I was late or not. Like, I wasn't trying to get extra time because I was only 45 minutes instead of an hour. That's what happened last time I saw her, and I was like, is this even working? Is this even doing anything for me? Because when people ask me, is it helping? I'm like, no, it's not helping me. But, so, then I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, it's Veterans Day, so the street's blocked. I totally didn't buy that, but I was like, well, I really don't like talking on the phone. I have things to do anyway, so I'll just go next week. She didn't text back, so who cares? Okay, somehow I forgot to say this part. The reason why I'm pissed and I don't want people lying to me is because I said, well, I was supposed to go to the bank. I'm like, the bank's not going to be open. So I had planned my day around going this way and down because the bank is on the same street as the therapist. And I was like, well, do I go anyway? Because I was like, I might as well go past the parade. So I walked like I was going to the therapist anyway. And I said, you know what? Let me see if there's a sign on the door. So I get there, cross in the middle of the parade to that side of the street, walk right up to the door. There's no sign. There's no sign that says the building's closed. I didn't have the intention to go and find out if she was lying or not. But it just, because I was like, well, I'm still going to go to the bank because I'll go do the thing by the machine. Because I didn't realize it wasn't a bank, like the banks were closed. That's how much I didn't get that it was a holiday. So I'm like, let me go. I might as well go. I got to go that way to the bank anyway. Let me walk that way, look at the parade for a minute. And then I can see. And I'm like, I'm across the street. I can't really see the door. Let me walk up to the door. So I cross right through the parade. And I go look at the door. And I'm sitting there staring. I'm like, I'm going to take a picture. Because I'm like, there's no sign at all. I mean, there's a sign saying that you're supposed to ring. The same signs that are there every day. Why do people try to lie to me? Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, because it's about getting paid. Everybody, every doctor, every person you go to is about getting paid, and I know that. When I was very sick and I had to come home, there were 2 nurses, because I was supposed to get nurses to the house. There were 2 nurses fighting at the bottom of my stairs because they wanted to come in because of money. I'm sorry that I can't function in the world and act like everything's fine when, all this healthcare and all this mental health and all this bullshit is just so people can make money. They don't help you. Nobody fixes your problems. They just make money. That's why I don't go to the doctor. That's why things get too bad. That's why my teeth are going to fall out of my head. That's why everything's happening, because I can't go and ignore the bullshit and pretend like, oh yeah, you're really here to help me and I'm so grateful and here, take all of this money or charge this health plan or whatever the hell, so that I can come 5 times when it should take me 1 time or 2 times because you want to make as much money as possible. You know what I mean? That's the game I can't play. And the game has only gotten worse and worse and worse over time. And now the way things are now, it's going to be a nightmare because nobody's going to be getting paid out of pocket by poor people. If you don't have money to pay out of pocket, even if somebody's paying for your shit, whether it's actual health insurance or something like Medicare or Mass Health or whatever, You have to put up with their bullshit because they're all in cahoots now. You can't get a second opinion. There's none of this shit. You either take it or don't. You know what I mean? You can't help yourself anymore. So if you don't have money to pay out of pocket, you're going to get shoddy treatment. You're going to get shitty people. It should not be that way. I believed in universal health care because that way it would be, the price wouldn't matter, because it would be, but unfortunately, when you get people who are there for the money and they're getting compensated, it's different. If you privatize something, if government privatizes something, instead of government doing it themselves, and they, let's say, I don't know, hire a bus company to do something, or they hire some foreign people to do their transit system, and they're paying them to do it instead of doing it themselves, then that's when everything gets shitty, and you end up paying through the nose. And so privatization isn't right. Okay? If you wanted to say the free market, that's not what privatization is. So when you're a person and you supposedly have health care because it's Obamacare or it's Mass Health or it's whatever, when you're still going to people who are in it for the money, then the system just really doesn't work, because now the government is being charged what a normal person wouldn't pay. That's why rent control didn't work. That's why rents went up so high when governments were being cheated and all this stuff like that. Now I just went crazy. All right. Anyway, the point is, I can't pretend I don't know things. I've been observing my whole life. I'm an observant person. I'm good at perceiving things. Maybe I'm a little bit paranoid, but I'm definitely suspicious, and I probably should have been a detective. Kind of wanted to be a spy. I think I have those skills. I just guessed that I was going to have those skills. But so I've been spending 47 years of my life not letting shit get past me, and people lie to me, and it's like, who do you think you're lying to? Because I have magical powers. I let people lie to me. Sometimes I give them the opportunity. I'll ask them the question waiting for the lie, because I'm like, Jesus is doing this to me, right? Jesus makes my life horrible because he puts me in the world to come into contact with you people so that you people can lie and cheat and screw me over, because I'm the test for you. Jesus puts me there to be a test to see if you're going to treat a completely innocent person like crap, screw them over, waste their time, pretend to help. I'm here to help you cultivate bad karma. I show up perfectly innocent, baby-like, with giving you the opportunity to do the right thing or not do the right thing. Giving you the opportunity to tell the truth or tell a lie. That's what I think. I really believe that's what my life's been about. Like, I'm just this person who shows up so that when people come into contact with me, because I'm not going to do anything wrong, I'm not going to do anything nefarious, I'm not going to play the game, and I'm very clear about that. I'm just there as a test for people. I have really thought that, because my life sucks. I have nothing, but it's like, I know that so many times in my life I just come into contact with people who have the opportunity to help me or not, and they don't. Have the opportunity to lie to me or not, they choose to lie. And so today was a big day full of lies. So, okay. So, because somebody let me borrow money, and then I paid a couple bills, and then one of the bills I didn't end up having to pay, I've had a little bit of money to be able to take the bus. The only reason I've been taking the bus is because everything was starting to break down. I felt like I'm going to need a new hip. I'm going to just fall down in the street, and they're going to be like, you need a new hip. I have no ability to, there's nobody to take care of me. I can't get an operation. I can't be sick. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm alone in the world, so I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. So a couple times I took the bus, because it's not supposed to be that you get a free transfer coming back. That's how they're going to help people instead of what they did before. Because at the end of August, October 1st, don't ask me how the end of August came. October 1st, it was supposed to be bus goes back to normal fare because it was cheaper because of the pandemic. So it's supposed to be go back to normal fare. So what they did was, now you can get, if you go, right, and you pay going, you get the free trip coming back. So doing that, I was like, okay, maybe I can take the bus to a better grocery store. When did I like better? So I went to Walmart last week, which I hadn't been to Walmart for like 2 months because I couldn't afford the bus. So then I went to Stop and Shop, and I'm like, it worked for Walmart, it worked for Stop and Shop, and I gave myself, because you have 2 hours. You go, whenever you zap your card, you have 2 hours to get back on the bus and have the free transfer. Or even if it's not coming back, just any transfer, you have 2 hours now, because it used to be an hour and a half. So they gave you an extra half an hour supposedly. And yeah. So go in, I zap, it's 12:43. I look, turn right around, it's 12:43. I'm like, okay, I have till 2:43. So I figure out what I'm doing. I go and get a soda and sit down so I can make my list. I've got all this time, right? So I go in the grocery store. I'm like, okay, I think the bus is supposed to leave to go back at 2:20. Or I'm going to get out there before 2:15. So I get out there, waiting. The other bus going the other way, that'll end up being the bus after that, goes by. I'm like, okay, so this bus is late, but now it's like 2:20. I have till 2:43, right? Waiting. Bus is late. Should have come and gone. I should almost be home by now. I'm looking at my thing. My feet are killing me. My back is killing me, because when we at our bus stops, there's no seats. Right? So you just have to stand there. So I'm like, okay, please come. It's like 33. I'm like, please, you have 10 minutes to get here. Please still come. And I'm like, they probably told them to not even bother coming and let the other bus driver pick them up. So it's like a whole run didn't happen. We don't have, see, in a place like this, when you need buses and stuff, because things are really spread apart. People, you need a car really to have a manageable life in a place like this. So when the places, the grocery stores are all out, right? I sort of live in the middle of the city, but everything, the hospitals, the doctor's offices, like I said, Walmart, they're all out. So I can't walk to any of these places. I can walk to Walgreens, which isn't even easy because it's downhill and back up. So to try to carry like sodas or bottled water or anything like that, it's like, it's hard, So I took the opportunity because I wanted to get more liquidy things, because I thought I was starting to get sick from not being hydrated enough, because I'm not drinking enough water. I'm not drinking enough drinks that don't have caffeine in them, because like I said, the choices are bad. And the local bodega type stores, for whatever reason, they don't take the EBT card, which I am dependent on right now, which I almost wish I never got it, to tell you the truth. I wish I starved. Put it that way. So waiting. I'm like, this bus is going to come with like either bus is going to either come late 1 minute after I would have got the free thing. And it's a good thing I put extra money, because I wasn't going to, on the card, which makes it more expensive if you pay actual money. So I was pissed, because my whole thing of being able to hurry and go and get it all done, I did it right. I gave myself a half-hour leeway. It went. And the bus that was the next one ended up coming, so that bus never came, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to call, before this bus came, I'm going to call from the bus stop. I'm going to call the bus company, because I always call the bus company, because I'm that kind of person to like, this is why I said I was a Karen. And you need Karens, so shut up. The world's falling apart because there aren't enough Karens. So I'm going to call them and see what happened. And I'm going to see. So I call them and I get the bus terminal. I'm like, do you know what happened to the shuttle? Because I've been standing out here, should have come half an hour ago. Oh, I don't know. It could have been because of the detours. I'm like, okay, first of all, the parade and shit was downtown. This bus only, it's way up there. It didn't cross the parade route at all. It goes all the way north, and it's like, no. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, so I said, do you know what happened? Oh, I'll give you the dispatcher. Now, the dispatcher's supposed to know, right? Dispatcher's going to, oh, I don't know, because, we did what with the detour or the, with the blockages or something. He said something from before. I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever it is, he's supposed to know. It's not, oh, okay, there was because he's acting like he was, oh, I'll look into it though. He doesn't have to look into anything. If the bus has to detour, if they're late or something, they're supposed to call in. The dispatcher's supposed to know. Maybe not the girl behind the counter, but the dispatcher's supposed to know. I'm like, okay. I did that, giving you the opportunity to lie to me, right? So I get in the bus and I said, I'll ask the bus driver. This guy's retired. There's a lot of bus drivers who are technically retired, but they come back and they drive the bus anyway. I think they do it for the money, but I think they also miss the fans. So he said he was never going to drive after he retired, but he does. So I'm like, oh, you know what happened to the other guy? Oh no, I don't know what happened. I'm like, oh, did they have a parade up here? I'm just, like I'm saying, give him rope. I'm giving people rope all the time now. Go ahead. She's like, oh, well, no, they were pouring cement before. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, let's say there was a detour. Let's say they were pouring cement. Let's say somebody was really off time. They should both know. Here's why they should both know. Because the dispatcher should know all. If they had to be detoured, because if the driver was super late, that'd be one thing. They don't know. But if the driver decided to skip their run, which is what happened in this case, because I was there and never came by, that means they skipped their run. The dispatcher has to know that. If the driver skipped their run, these buses pass each other. So if the bus driver's driving around not seeing the other bus, he's got to know that. He's got to know something happened because I don't know where the hell he went. I didn't pass him or her or whoever, right? But nobody, they don't know. Like, you know how Judge Judy says, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining? People shouldn't be lying to me because, like I said, this, for whatever reason, the cosmic court uses me to collect evidence against you all. And it gives you every opportunity to be a piece of shit. And I know what you're doing to me when you're doing it. Yes, I have a fat face, which makes people think you're a baby, you're innocent, or because you're not going around doing deceptive and evil things, that somehow you're a knave and you don't know what the fuck's going on. I know what's going on. And I know what you're doing. And like I said, sometimes I'm going to give you rope. Sometimes I'm going to call you up just to let you lie to me. So you can go to hell. Because that is a commandment. You can't kill people, but you're not supposed to lie either. I'm really glad for you that everybody lies and it makes you feel like that's okay. But you know what? I don't know. I'm going to go get my food, which sounds like it's going to start to burn. And then I think I will do something about watching movies in the movie theater.